Almost ready. Okay, we're all set. Go ahead and you can start your meeting.
Okay, thank you, Dana. Welcome, everybody. I'm going to call this meeting to order. I'm Erica Hall and the chair of the Peaslee Building Committee. This is the first meeting of the Communications Subcommittee of the Peaslee Building Committee. It's our kickoff meeting. Today is Tuesday, March 17th at 7 p.m. And I'll just do some quick introductions. So from the members of the committee, we have Kelly Gannett and Mike Tejan and myself. We also have two members from our OPM, which is PMA Alphabet Soup, and that's Janelise and Karina. We're joined by Kent from Flansburgh Design, and we have guest Sean Bevan with us, who hails from Algonquin. So thank you all for being here on screen with us. And the first order of business, agenda item 3, is to review our subcommittee charge. So again, this is the communications subcommittee, so we can get a little more in the weeds as a subcommittee. And we are charged. Yes, go ahead.
Sorry to interrupt you, but Jennifer from Flansburgh also joined. Sorry.
Thank you, Jennifer from Flansburgh. Welcome. Thank you for being here. Thank you. So we have a charge, which is to connect the citizens of Northborough to the accurate information about the Peaslee Building Committee project. And so there is no, at this point, there's no ballot question involved. This is sort of a phase of this where the project is developing. And the goal is to involve as many residents of Northborough in this conversation as possible. And so the charge is to make sure that we think of ways to connect the public to accurate information. I just want to take a moment and say what the charge is not. And those of you who attended our last full committee meeting will remember the presentation from the Office of Campaign Finance. So we are absolutely not charged with taking any kind of a position on any kind of ballot question. There is no ballot question at this point. So we won't be discussing anything that has to do with campaigning or taking a position on this project. At this time, because this is a subcommittee, we need to elect a subcommittee chair and followed by electing a subcommittee vice chair. And before you go off screen, Mike and Kelly, I just want to say that if the two of you can, nominate each other, and I will help you. So we're all here to support you. PMA and Flansburgh have already, gotten the ball rolling, as have I. So it is something that your name goes on a our website as chairs and vice chairs, and you will be supported with sort of discreet ask. So that being said, would either of you like to make a motion for nomination first for the chair?
Yeah, I'd make a motion to nominate Kelly as chair of the subcommittee.
Is there a second for the purpose of discussion?
I'll make the second.
Okay. Any discussion, Kelly?
You're too kind, Mike. You are just too kind.
He really admires your strong leadership.
He does.
As do we all. Yes.
Yes. It's been a while since I've been a chair, so thank you so
okay.
I
much.
figure you missed it, so.
I did
Okay.
so much.
All right. Hearing no further conversation, there's been a motion to elect Kelly as the subcommittee chair. So I'll take a vote by roll call, starting with Mike.
Aye.
Kelly.
Yes.
Erica says yes. And so the motion carries unanimously. And
I
thank you.
was going to abstain, but I just thought it'd be awkward.
Okay. Yeah. Well, thank you. All right.
Well,
and
right
now
back at you. I'll make a motion to have Mike be the vice chair then.
Is there a second for the purpose of discussion?
I'll second that.
All right. So there's been a motion and second for Mike to serve as vice chair. Any discussion? And hearing none, I'll do a roll call vote starting with Mike.
Aye.
Kelly.
Yes.
And I say yes, so the motion carries. Thank you both for agreeing to be on this subcommittee and for your leadership. We are here with Flansburgh and PMA to discuss the information strategy, starting with the website. So we do have a website. The town of Northborough has carved out a Peaslee specific website and populated it thus far with meeting agendas and minutes. It's something that I want to bring now for discussion of what else should be on that website. And again, in the spirit of connecting the residents to the resources that they need. Some of the items that have been floated are a link to the owner's project manager, PMA, a link to the design team at Flansburgh, a link to the MSBA site for that process, as well as, there's already links to the meetings. There's a question about should there be information about the existing building at Peaslee? And there's a discussion active with Northborough Cable to do an informational video on site at Peaslee.
Can they make it look really, really bad? No, I'm just kidding.
Well, I will tell
I'm
you.
just
Yep, I
kidding.
will tell you.
They're
with
not
the
gonna have to
lighting.
try that hard. No, it's just
Yep.
because Dana and his team do so well with
That still have, yes. Yep.
all their production work. I don't want it to not capture the essence of the Peaslee building, so.
Yep. I think Dr. Coakley has agreed to, sort of narrate and just kind of show, because it's one thing to hear Kent talk about the building and look at all your charts. But it's another thing to see the photos
I
and do a
agree.
walkthrough. Yeah.
I agree.
So that could be an informational video about Peaslee. So I think at this time, for all of you, just to kind of brainstorm this agenda item, which is what else are some items that could populate the website that would be helpful and informational?
Could we do some of the stuff that are like requirements of the MSBA, like the idea of, they had to do whatever different studies, like if they had to do the land study or if they had to do like the different feasibility type things.
Would it be sorry, Kelly, to interrupt you, but would it be helpful if it just outlines the different modules to the MSBA, and what pertains within each one of those modules? But if there is a link to the MSBA, you can be able to find that as well, but it would be an easy, just like graphic where it shows the different modules and what happens during each one of those modules. Would that help?
I think anything that you don't have to click to, like that's just there,
Okay.
Yep.
I think is good for the community. Because if you have to click to the MSBA and then on there find the module, that's you've lost people. Like it should all be very upfront.
Yeah. I think, Karina, if there's like one graphic, so there's going to be the MSBA website. So anyone who comes to this site can obviously get a magnitude of information. But I would probably extract out the module 3. And the MSBA has graphics too, or we can kind of improvise. But it will say you have to, evaluate your existing conditions, then go into, different test fit options. I feel like we could provide a one singular page summary of the whole feasibility process. It'd be
Okay.
nice if the MSBA had one, and I think I've seen one in the past. So I don't want to create something if they already have it. But
Yeah.
just to what Kelly's saying is you can kind of click and say, yeah, like we have to evaluate the existing conditions, and then we have to do these different steps. So that would
Yeah.
be ideal.
So I have an idea. What if Because I'm pretty sure there is a module where it shows all, a graphic where it shows all the modules. What if I find that graphic and then star, we are here, and then under that, then it basically says we're module 3 and this is what happens, it's feasibility and so on and so forth. And we can work with you, Ken, to put a quick summary of what to expect during this module that
Yeah,
we're
I think
now.
that's good. I think wherever we can connect the MSBA, wherever we can find those like abbreviated, I get it. It's like 2,000 pages of stuff,
Yeah.
but they have worked to make it digestible for, residents, etc.
Another thing that I've heard from just the community and not about this MSBA project, but for example, we're getting flack on the Z roof MSBA project, and theirs is like, well, why do you have to spend all this money on a feasibility for, a roof? A roof is, you know what I mean? So anywhere that we can explain exactly
Well,
why we have to spend money and where we have to do it and how it's part of the, it's like we're not just spending money just to spend money.
yeah, and so I
It's
think
a process, like.
right. So are you suggesting like because we want to be careful here, we don't want to dovetail into other projects outside of the focus of this singular project?
No, yeah, no, I'm saying that that's something that people are complaining about that project that's going through MSA.
Right. So we
So
just want
I
to
could see them potentially doing it for this project
sure,
because we
sure.
have to go through the same type of process in essentially like we have
If-
strict guidelines. The MSBA, it's not like our town is doing a fire station and they don't have checks and balances to check through an organization that's overseeing them. It's done through
Right.
the town level.
Yeah.
So to kind of just almost like reiterating and refocus and showing people that we have a process that we have to go through and they're not wasted steps and it will pay off at the end but
And
this is what we have to do and
and they're not your steps. They're the MSBA as your grant funding partner.
exactly.
I
And
think
it's like the
that's really
alternative is we don't get the money.
you do it on your own and
Yeah.
you don't know when it's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
There were
So
2 other content pieces that are on the radar for Northborough Cable. One content piece is an interview style with the town. Jason Little and Steph Bacon come to mind on the MSBA town partnership and how it works. So it would be an interview style of kind of the timeline. So how the town began and, why did the finance director, work along, get to this point. So I don't know, especially Mike, I'm looking at you, but I don't know if you think an interview style. So this would be like a 120-second interview clip, town meeting prep style on the town partnership with MSBA.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think something like that could work. I think the shorter videos are better, or more digestible for people rather than something that's lengthy. Like, we want to put, probably a link to all of our past meetings out there that are on YouTube. Not that they're necessarily that long right now, but they can be or will be. Um, so we want to have that out there. You want to have links to all the material, right? The community, our first session that we had last week, the have that a link specifically to that and all of them in one section. Make the presentation materials available. But yeah, no, I think they kind of did some of this with the fire station where they kind of made shorter videos or update videos, but like to your point, Erica, right? Digestible explanations of things. Dare I say, layperson level explanation or plain English explanation of things like why does this cost so much? Right. That's going to be kind of like, and we kind of heard that in our initial meeting is, and we're hearing it on the Z roof. It's like, well, I can get a roof done for this. Why is this one so expensive? So we need to get ahead of that stuff and have the explanations out there so that when people have those questions, they can be linked to, a plain English expert answer to it, if that makes sense.
John's got a hand raised.
Yeah, sure. When I say we, when I participated in many people helping to get understanding of the need for a new athletic complex, we had a website and that was really helpful. But what was more helpful or equally helpful was a social media presence that like delivered info to kids and families about all the things that we were trying to like promote and to establish understanding of. So we used a website to like warehouse and to have a lot of big files and longer videos and lots of big documents and agendas and all kinds of things. But if we wanted to let people know like who were like passively tracking along, which is lots of our families and all of our kids, by the way, that was really helpful. And we tracked data on both the access, the clicks into the website, and then also the engagements on Instagram, and we got a lot more engagement on Instagram. So it kind of depends on what you're aiming for, but that was really helpful and allowed us to almost in real time do updating about all the different elements of the project and to build stakeholder buy-in pretty effectively. I don't even know if that's an option in this case. Like it's a lot of dense materials. It's a lot of um, I think information that doesn't lend itself to the lack of nuance that social media might lend itself to. But I just put it out there because we saw success in that project.
Jannalise, I'll let you talk through this one because I know you have
Yeah,
something to say.
I was gonna say I think also a good graphic for a timeline would be the one that Flansburgh presented during the community forum. That it kind of outlined like since 2020 we've started this process. So I think that graphic would also be good to share with the community to kind of see like where we started, where we're at, and like
Where we're
to
headed.
see yeah where we're
Yeah.
heading. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
mean, I can envision even like if we do have just like those graphics and then put like just that one graphic on the Instagram and then have the little write-up or whatever that then clicks to the website or whatever. Even those like if you do like daily type teasers or something like that, it'll keep people
yeah.
looking, you know.
But and then Kelly, like I think that goes to what Sean was saying is like if you track where you're getting hits on where topics, etc. So I mean that's what Flansburgh does. That's probably what PMA does. Like when we look at it as our corporate kind of entity, we when you put it out there and you're able to see like what people are interested in, you're able to hone into that, and so that goes through the Facebooks, the Instagram, etc. So I don't think I think that's just commonplace now that we can like track that. But to Sean's point, we're able to like redirect the message a little bit and build off of what people are actually asking about or what they're clicking on, what they're interested in. So that's important. I wasn't the timeline's good. We're gonna bake that in because the timeline to your point was, hey, Norpro didn't just start this like a year ago. They have been baking this in for a long time. So we have a fact-based sound, delivery to that. So that goes into all the reports. We had a great community forum, last week. Not a huge turnout. I don't think we expected like a huge turnout, but what was nice was it was recorded, so everybody can kind of push play at home. And we did talk about the timeline. We talked about all like the great work that Northborough did before this was even this project. And we also talked about, and I think what's really important is it goes back to how we kind of kicked off this conversation, about Kelly with like the roof job, etc. Um, the MSBA came to you submitted a statement of interest. The MSBA read it and they came out to Northborough. So they realize that this school has to be remedied in some fashion, renovation, new construction, whatever it may hash out at the end. Um, but the MSBA partnership, because they do this throughout the entire Commonwealth, when that statement of interest was submitted, they came to Northborough, they looked at Peaslee, and they said, "Yeah, we have to do something now." And that's powerful. And there are also these great MSBA checks that they do in our process that Yeah, you go on the MSBA website, it's not gonna jump out at you. But when they review the different submittals within the modules, they they validate that your findings align with their findings. And so we have a couple checks along the way, PDP, PSR, and then schematic design. And then when you submit schematic design, all your legwork, which again started with them coming to your site and saying something has to happen. The chairs are, our state treasurer, Deborah Goldberg, and they vote to support this project. So that optics with the community, but also the commitment from the MSBA goes a long way. So like we need to celebrate every time the MSBA says, "Hey, they're doing a great job. The educational plan is sound. The design is, you know, exactly what we'd expect. The budget is on track with MSBA average." So we have those shot at the apples during the PSR submission, which is kind of tracked around September, where the MSBA is going to like validate all your findings to date.
Okay,
And
so could
Does
we,
everyone know what PSR stands for? Sorry, Erica.
preliminary
that the
schematic report, yes.
Yeah.
sorry about all this.
But so Ken, can we do a spreadsheet at some point with those checkpoints? And then
Yes.
I'm just thinking
Yeah.
tangible. So did you know MSBA just approved
That-
ed plan? Learn more here. And then for making that graphic to populate the content. So this is a question for PMA, and I'm sorry to put you on the spot. You have a marketing department. Again, Karina mercifully is not head of that department. You have many other talents for which we appreciate you.
Yeah.
And is that something where content could be prepared, or is that something that would be for this subcommittee? Who, for those of you who've been on a team like that, who populates the content and who looks it over to make sure that it is in keeping with our stated goal of providing information and not swaying?
We can put something together, and Kent will work with Flansburgh as well, just to make sure that you agree with what we're putting out there. I did want to say, even when it comes to the Facebook and Instagram, we'll make sure that you guys all get the material. Internal will
Yep.
review it and make sure that we are okay with the information that we're putting out there. But PMA is working actually right now actively to
Yep.
start putting some of that information together. And we should have something over to you, Erica and Kent, tomorrow, so you guys can take that first look at it. And then I'm hoping that by the end of this week, beginning of next week, we already start putting things out there in these different platforms, so that the communication can start from
Yep.
the public, basically.
Would
Yeah.
it be helpful for me to start a Facebook and Insta, or is that something PMA wants to control? Because I'm willing to do that if that's helpful. So you let me know.
Yeah, if you don't mind, Erica, just putting one together, and we'll give you the information that needs to be added to it. There is a Northborough Facebook though that
Yeah.
I saw.
So we
Yeah.
were hoping that the town could just post at least like the community forum awareness flyer, just so that they know like when it's happening and like where. So
Yeah,
that we were hoping that the Northborough town could just do it.
post
Because
it.
they also have the followers already and
We also
stuff.
have a following, and we
Yeah,
would.
so I don't think a new
Okay,
website,
no new
Instagram or
Facebook
Facebook
site,
would
no
be
new
necessary.
Instagram site
No.
to
Yeah,
post it on the town. And does that sync with your understanding, Mike? The town has a Facebook page we can
It
use?
does. Yeah.
Who manages that though?
The town.
No, I'm saying, Mike, do you know who specifically manages it?
Outside of the administration, so Stephanie and Diane and the assistants, I don't know who's actually going in and sort of making the posts, if that's your question.
Yeah,
Yeah, so
Everything
we
seems to.
were, yeah, we were just gonna reach out to like Stephanie Bacon or Jason Little and ask them like who would be the one doing the actual posting.
yeah.
Right. Yeah. No,
So,
the town has the Facebook page. I mean, it also has like an email list that people sign up for that they can distribute information on, kind of stuff we identified as maybe wasn't done for our first community forum that we'll make sure is done for the second one.
Yeah,
Um,
the rec puts out a guide, I think it's called, right? The Northborough Guide, and they put that. I think they put that out. So I don't know why my someone's calling me. I think it's like weekly or
okay, like a
every couple
newsletter?
yeah.
weeks. It's like an e-newsletter type thing that goes out,
Okay.
and
But
um,
Yeah.
I don't believe the town has an Instagram account.
Yeah, I never looked it up, but I also don't think so.
Yeah.
One other thing too about just about information out there too is that I think it would also be helpful for people to realize that yes, we were accepted into the MSBA, but not everybody's accepted into the MSBA
Uh,
programs. You know what I
yeah,
mean? And I
that,
think that's
that,
helpful to know that
that's
we were one of 56 people who
many,
applied and they
many.
only did 13 of them or whatever the numbers are, you
So,
know?
and that's kind of what I was hinting on earlier, because a lot of these communities like just run with it, and whether they respect the MSBA or, not, they're a grant funding agency, but just being accepted is huge. And then those validation points that we talked about at PSR and then SD, you have to use that because that's where the money's coming from. So
Okay, so so Kent, so writing the script for Stephanie and Jason to discuss the MSBA town partnership. I feel like that's where that belongs, what you just
that's
said,
perfect.
Kelly, right? We
Mhm.
applied, we were one of XYZ numbers, we were accepted. The reason we're pursuing this is because we become eligible for reimbursement. This is our reimbursement rate, 48 point something cents on the dollar. We've followed the process, we've hit these checkpoints, and this is where we go next with it. That's a 120-second clip of interview style, so that's good. That covers that timeline thing. Then
I would,
Flansburgh, yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
sorry, I would also keep in mind who we're trying to communicate to. I think there'll be people who are gonna take their time and go to a website and read through all the documents. Those are probably, I don't want to age anybody, but voters who might be looking for reasons to not support this project. I think our people who we really want to inform are people who have young families who are going to benefit from this project, and they're going to probably not have Facebook, or if they are, they think it's, for old people. And I
Mhm.
think we do want to be mindful of who we trying to attract, and they're going to be people who want to be spoon-fed their news in little bits
Right.
on an application that is for 30-year-olds and 30 to 40 or younger. And so I think that we just have to be mindful of what information we're trying to put out and who our target audience is and where they are.
I do have a question. In the past, what has the town done when it comes to actually mailing out these flyers so people get them in the mail? Have you guys
Well,
ever done
I
that?
mean, I guess it depends on where the money's coming for a mailer because that's the big thing is that the town always, any type of mailer that goes out, it's a huge cost. And so they try not to do it as often as they can. Um, Correct me if I'm wrong, Mike, but I know that was like a big thing when we were talking about moving a meeting or doing something, and it's like, oh, whoa, whoa, we can't send a special
And,
flyer out for it, you know?
and the only time I've seen it over 20 years is right before town meeting.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
real quick, I did look up and Northborough does have an Instagram page. It has 730 followers, so it does actually have a pretty good follow base as opposed to the Facebook page, which has like 3,000 maybe. So I mean, like Instagram has less, but it still has like a good follow base that we can post on Instagram.
So Sean made a case for having our own Insta and Facebook. John Elise is talking about leveraging the following on the town's Instagram and Facebook, if we can find the point of contact. Is there a consensus here?
Do we know what other communities have done that you guys have worked with? What do they do? Do they always go with the towns or has anybody?
I'll I'll speak on my own. Usually it's through the town. They're looking for one depository for like information and access, and it's through the town.
Same, Kelly.
Okay.
I mean, if we
Okay.
were to start a new Facebook or Instagram page, we would probably not get as many people as we would with something that already has the following.
I also
Yeah.
think a major downside is monitoring comments. Like if the town's monitoring the comments on the town's page versus, we have to now hire a armed guard
Yeah,
to.
I just wanted to, that's kind of what my question was to Mike is like who's managing the page? Like again, I don't want to add burden onto other people. Um, but I agree. I think it would make sense for it to all be in that central location. Um,
Yeah, no,
and
I was
yeah.
gonna say, yeah, I think we should just leverage the existing town resources, the Instagram and Facebook and what else we can get out of them. Um, and then yeah, I don't know. As far as I'm understanding, who updates it, it's done within the town administration office. So whether that's the admin who's actually going in and typing the posts, or if that's the assistant town administrator, I'm not sure the exact fingers, but I'm fairly certain it's out of that office.
And go ahead.
I was just gonna say, can we put a link on the like Greg's weekly email? Can he put the link or not? Like, is that a conflict of interest if the school directs you to, as long as it's not on the ballot, right? So they
It's,
can,
It's
if it,
informational.
if it's fact based,
okay, so then Greg could add it to his Tuesday news also,
That's a great idea.
whatever the things are.
All right, so I have that we're going to do work on the interview, which is the MSBA Town Partnership, and we can all review the script for that and make sure that 120 seconds is a shareable clip. We're going to work on the spreadsheet of what are the checkpoints that can be publicized with a, carousel on Instagram. We're going to populate the website like we talked about before. We're going to prepare shareable content for the town's Insta and Facebook, along with the recommended captioning and hashtags when appropriate. We're going to tap the superintendent's office to do weekly email updates. Did I miss anything? Oh, and the rec guide.
Yep, the rec guide. And then I'm also wondering if the principals could put, the principals in each building usually do it. So if there is some sort of graphic icon that can just be put into their weekly news, their news updates for them to click for it.
And
I
the
can,
PTO might help share some of the stuff.
PTOs could do it too. Yeah.
I mean,
So
I remember
just-
being. Oh,
sorry, just going back to so does the superintendent of district
Weekly.
is it filmed?
Tuesday no, not a film thing.
So-
he has a newsletter Tuesday at 4 o'clock. It comes out 4.
Is there anything filmed?
No, I don't think he's ever done any.
He doesn't have big movie star energy, although he's good,
He was
at the
awesome.
mic.
He was
Yeah, he's
awesome
good.
last week. That's
He
why I
doesn't
was.
have a fireside chat like FDR
Yeah.
used to have.
He
No,
needs a
does not.
I could
fireside
see Greg
chat.
doing
Go
that.
find
I'll
a
be honest.
fire.
I'll be honest with you.
Can I call Greg and tell him that that's what the this committee has come up with, is that we want him
All
to
right,
do fireside chat?
You're not here. You just got voluntold. Yep.
So we
show
did
up.
we did
Put
a
on a nice
project
sweater.
in the Outer Cape, and it had the superintendent spotlight, and it was like monthly updates, but it was before there was even a project. He just always did monthly, and that was 4 towns for Nauset Regional High School. So it was just like on film, local cable access, and it was just an update on like what's going on within the school. And then when it became the school building project, he dovetailed that in for a 10-minute update. So it was nice because people could click it, but if it doesn't exist now, you might not want to start it. But it was a nice way to get everybody in the mix in a casual setting.
Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, I was just going to say, just kind of thinking off of the mailing idea of dropping. You don't want to obviously flood this, but for specific meetings or community engagement, what are the restrictions around having the teachers drop this in the students' folders? Looking at your kids' folder is something you do right? What's in there? What homework do they have? There is informational stuff in there for different programs or things that are going on. As
Like a
long as
print
it's
flyer, yeah.
informational, as long as it's informational only, I don't see people having a problem with it. And I think that's who, not that we don't want everybody who wants to attend, but it's going to be most pertinent to the families, especially in the Peaslee community, but all across. That I think that's an important way we can get people to show up to our next meeting is if we can actually drop it in their kids' folder. They see it, stick it on their fridge, they'll remember it. It's kind of an analog way, but I think it's effective.
Again, I think my only question would be is where is the budget? Are we fundraising for things like that? Or where would the printing of it, like where would that come out of?
The principal's office can't just print a
Yeah,
few.
I was thinking just like,
Yeah.
WB Mason paper on the
No, well,
back
I'm
of
just
It-
I'm
it,
just
uh,
thinking back to like
it has to come from the district
yeah, I'm just thinking
or the
like the
town.
conflict of interest type thing. Like they said,
Yeah.
you can't print, you can't use resources for certain things. You can't, that's what I'm just wondering.
But this is for information though, not really for a ballot question.
Right.
To get the
Right.
entire.
My thought would be like the community the flyer that advertised like the community forum, just
Okay.
having that printed, placed
No,
in the
I'm
kids'
in
folder.
support of it.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking, I've got Becky in my mind thinking, okay, where am I going to get? Because it costs paper, it costs printing resources. Like, so I'm just thinking if they're already,
It could be the town offices too, maybe the town offices print a certain amount to be distributed to the schools.
yeah. Yeah, I guess we just need to find out. And I guess we can ask Greg and Stephanie how that would work out and where that would come from.
I have one other, while we're on content, I have one other piece of content that Northborough Media put on the radar, which was a possible webinar. So rather than providing a copy of the in-person forum, a focused webinar involving the OPM and the designer, which would be just a high level, it could be, open meeting, but something that would be like a Zoom format that would be maybe like a 5-10 minute overview with really clear graphics that could be a movie. So the benefit, the thinking of Northborough Media was that that's easy enough to record. It's 10 minutes, it's a clean PowerPoint, it's a webinar style, and then it kind of is just a fact-based walk through the process. So that was something you could consider.
Timeline for things. One, what's like the next time that we're hitting? Like, what's their next? We're not voting at this town meeting for anything, right?
No.
Right?
Our next community forum is April 27th.
April 27th. Okay.
That's town meeting,
Yeah.
Kelly. So they're trying to hold it in the cafeteria immediately before town meeting and hoping that people will go to that and then attend town meeting.
Oh. Okay.
So I think it would be, like Karina said, it would be good to get a posting done like at least like the earliest next week on the Instagram and the Facebook. And then we PMA can make a graphic for each because it's a different size,
Yeah,
depending on the platform.
if you send me the flyer or the graphic, I'll get it to the town to get it up.
Okay,
Okay.
that's perfect. Thank you. That's
Thank
good to know.
you.
Is it necessary? I mean, sometimes we go old school. We take the flyer and we print out 10 of them and put them where we legally can post them. So it could be
Yeah, I mean, I think
it could be a billboard at every
Town
school.
Hall has a billboard. Town Hall has
Yeah.
a
a digital.
no, they have like
No.
a old school
Like a
paper
cork board, yeah.
board. They
So-
have one
so-
at Town Hall, and then I
The
think
library has one.
Yeah.
the library,
I mean,
and then does the senior center? They probably have one.
yeah. I mean,
The
just give you
senior center.
some perspective. We've done weatherproof big boards of the flyer that are at your library, your town hall, all the schools, and then any other area that we can put them. So that's something that you might, it's old school, but at least
Like
people are
sandwich
walking
boards,
by it.
almost like
Yeah, single-sided, but sandwich boards. Yeah.
something like, okay.
And it's good getting them out there 2 weeks ahead of time. So people walk by them. So sometimes the physical boards go a long way.
Could we
And they're
put them in
big.
the parks, I wonder? That would be something to ask the town,
Wherever legally you think you have jurisdiction, yes. So
you know? I mean,
sometimes you can't put them in a grocery store because that, but you can do it at the library, town hall, all the schools, anything public. And
I'm just
then,
thinking like the park, what is it?
Elsewhere.
Assabet Park. That's
Assabet.
Yeah.
like the little kids. That's like the 2 to 5-year-old park. Those are the people who,
Yeah.
it's
So
really
sometimes
affecting,
running those boards and you do 10, 36-inch by 24-inch and you put them out there and
So it'd be the weekend of April 11 to 13, which is 14 days before town meeting week. Yeah,
Mhm.
good.
you put the QR codes on that as well. So everyone
Oh
who's
yeah, can
tech
you talk about,
savvy.
so there's a poll. So PMA has a poll. So what's your goal on the poll? How many respondents?
So far, we've gotten 6, right, Janice?
Well, what's
Yes.
your goal? You're trying to get hundreds and hundreds? What are you looking for?
As many as we can possibly get.
Yeah, as much as possible,
Yeah.
where we can get like a sort of like a general consensus, and it's not like
The polls from,
From the first meeting, community
From the
forum.
community forum.
it was
Yep.
at the community forum.
yes, it had
Did-
like 4 questions, like what are your priorities?
Did Greg
well-
put that into his newsletter, I wonder? Hold on, it just came out today.
Yeah, so if you're trying to drive, I don't know what kind of metrics or if that's an MSBA thing, but if you're trying to drive traffic to that poll, that should be a post on Instagram and Facebook as well. That could be its own post.
Yeah.
Take the poll.
There's
Okay.
no MSBA involved with
Okay.
outreach.
Yeah.
So you don't have
Okay.
to.
Yeah. Okay. Got it. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Janice,
I
maybe
just
we
didn't know
could
if that was
have-
a way to demonstrate that a certain number of members of the public have been engaged.
And then the other thing that I was gonna suggest too was using like asking, so the senior center I think would be a good idea, the library, and then also faith-based organizations like the Trinity Church and like the St. Rose of Lima Parish, like asking if they would be willing to put the community forum flyer like on their bulletin, just so that people can see it when
Yeah.
they're attending the place. What do you think about that?
Yep. I'm happy to help with,
I don't think it
I'm
hurts
happy to help with
ask,
that.
right?
Yeah. Yep.
I go to St. Rose. Mike goes to St. Rose.
Right. I'm just trying
Yeah.
to think, have I ever seen anything for outside of
The
The
church.
church.
the church
Well, I
that would
mean,
be
they have
included?
advertising
Well, in the
blocks type
in the
things,
bulletin, you have to
but
pay for it.
yeah. Yeah, no, I know, but I'm saying, so I don't know if,
I didn't know if they had like maybe a bulletin where you could put like a flyer to the side or something.
Well,
I think you have to be a little careful because if you're explicitly like courting that group to put it up, you have to open it up to everybody. So if you didn't do the effort to go to other groups,
well, you'd have to go to every church.
Yeah.
You'd have to ask.
you
Well, at least
you'd
you'd have to ask every church, right? You'd have
Yes,
to every
yes.
church,
So that's
every synagogue, every temple,
So-
like you'd have to ask them all.
Yes, yes.
And then it would
Yeah.
be a matter of who
Who responds?
to run it and who responds, that's on them. But if we put it out to all of them,
Yeah.
we're covered, I think.
I also think if you could have flyers available for pickup at town hall, or offer, like if you get permission, then we'll come, post it or mail it to you to be posted. Like, do we have permission to mail it to you? So we supply it or something?
Oh yeah. Okay.
I think we can, Janice, do some outreach to those,
Yeah. They surely have their email addresses on their website, so we can just
we can even try to call, and then what we can do is do a spreadsheet showing that we made a call, at what time we made that call, and make
Yeah.
sure that we're tracking everything so that if there's ever a question if we did or not, we have paper trail.
Yep.
And if you email the flyer and say, here's the flyer, this is a link to learn about the project. It's a, Northborough Town project. This is information only. And if your organization is, willing, we'd love to have you post it. Let us know if you need help to print it or deliver it to you.
Yep. Yep.
Kelly, that was like community outreach strategy. Kent is very eager to discuss focus groups, which is agenda item 8. So with the permission of the group, and also this awkward chair handoff, Kelly, but we could do focus groups and pick some dates on. Kent's got a big plan on that.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I think community forums are excellent. Sometimes they don't yield what you want, and then yes, everything's can be digital or someone can push play, but those focus groups are essential. Again, like delivering the fact-based information where you are to date of that point in the project. So in the past, we've met with like countless groups. Senior Center / Council on Aging, PTO, uh, Boy Scouts America, athletic groups, realtor groups, and it's still the same presentation. So you don't really want to alter the presentation. It's just like the same one that we're seeing at the community forum or the school building committee meeting. Uh, Lions Club, Masons Club, like whatever you can think of. If you could outline those, that would be tremendous. So we did a project where outside community forums, we just weren't getting like the draw that we thought, but bringing the message to them just got everybody to support it. So it's never too early to start, but we just need a list of who we can start meeting with. And even early where we are right now, it's like information based. It's like, who are the MSBA? They're your grant funding partner. We don't know the option quite yet. It's never too early to roll them in.
And how many forums are you looking to do, Kent?
Community forums or focus groups?
I'm sorry, what I meant to say is
Groups.
focus groups.
If I'll be there 5 days a week, so I mean,
We want this approved.
so
As many as you can.
in Holbrook, I actually counted it. We did 24 community forums,
Wow.
and we did 62 outreach groups outside of that.
Okay, so senior center, what else? Kelly, Mike?
Yeah, I'm thinking,
Homeowners associations,
yeah.
all of it. Just put it out there in a community room, but the key is that you can't change the message
Right.
for a block of time until you go to a next phase.
And so are these in person or are these digital or like remote, like virtual? What
Virtual.
are they? I'm just thinking like the American Legion, for example. Like I
Like
don't
senior
see those
center
clientele necessarily
senior center is in
tuning in, but I
Yeah.
see them like if you
Yeah.
come and have lunch with them and give a presentation during their lunch hour, I could
in
see.
person.
Yeah.
Senior center in person, 100%.
Okay, so American Legion, when you say in homeowners associations, you mean like the different complexes if they have a community room?
Well,
Absolutely.
like the Avalon, for example, like they've
Okay.
got
Yep.
that's a huge,
Those
There's
are usually
Intervale
good.
Farms.
yeah.
I mean, yeah, there's the town Democrat committee. I
Yeah.
don't think there is a Republican committee, but there is a town Democrat committee.
Yeah.
Is there any concern with that, Kent? Because we're only going to the Democrat, and I know that there's
It'd
not
be
one
nice
for
if there's another one
Republican.
just to balance it
Right, yeah.
out. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think right now it's just make a list. But I think with the focus groups, I think the one out of the gate should be in person, so you're making a connection. But like I said,
Rotary.
I spend most of my time in senior centers.
Yeah. But that's who's coming out to vote. You know what I mean? They're going to
Yeah,
come to the
right.
ballot.
and
They
that's
come to town meeting, you
So-
know.
so say you're, and I think right now it's like a touch base, right? Maybe once, every, month or every other month. But if you're going for a public vote in the springtime in May, like January through May is like you're all in. You like I'm going to live in Northborough. That's like my expectation.
Yeah.
That's based on other projects.
It's a great place here, great schools.
Absolutely, it's
Is
Oh,
Good
is it this May or is it next May?
Next April,
next.
27.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry, next
27,
April.
right? Okay, yeah. I'm just making sure. I'm
Yeah.
just making sure.
Yeah.
And that even
I'm-
looks a little different because that, it's phase one. We have no ballot question. This is just join the conversation. Phase two,
Yeah.
we get a ballot question. Now we
Yeah.
gotta be really cautious, right?
Yeah.
So this year is just getting, up till December, it's just getting the message out of where you are with that particular phase.
Mhm.
But January, once we submit it to the MSBA and they support the project, that's one of those
Yeah.
milestones that you want to promote. January through, April is nonstop.
All right, what else? Senior center,
Co-
HOAs,
Athle-
Avalon.
I can work on that.
athletic
If we want to
group.
do that offline, I can.
Oh, that's
I
a good idea, Kelly. If you can get us a list of what.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll go through things and figure things out, and then in the next day or two, I'll
Yeah. I said realtor groups, but local business groups,
That's what I
anybody.
was gonna say. If there's like a
Right.
a town business group or
Yes.
something, or like even you were saying HOAs, but like a realtor group, like even the real estate people, like real
Yeah.
estate agents, like their groups,
Yep.
Yeah.
And what's
Lois
nice
might-
about kind of again, you're early in the process, but come January, that's where you really have to be proactive. So you want to do as many touch bases as you can right
Yeah,
now.
but if we can touch base with all these groups now once,
Yeah.
and then once the January comes around, you circle back with them and you get the extra, it's like,
Yeah.
then they're like, oh, wait, I remember you talking about that,
If I
Mr.
rec-
Martineau is
if I
here.
if,
Who's gonna tell him?
We signed you up for some good stuff. Good stuff.
Thank you.
Just hear these
If-
words. Fireside chat.
that wasn't my idea.
Well, there's a lot of people on the Peaslee Building Committee.
Okay,
No, I'm sorry. It's superintendent fireside chat.
there's only one superintendent though. Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
But it has to be
and three assistants.
yeah, okay, yeah.
So Kelly, when you look at those different focus groups, just obviously look at the summer months because a lot of participation drops down, but
Mhm.
you just want to map that out and
Yeah, so
It-
I'll
it-
get a list and then we can kind of
Yeah.
see where like when they have peaks. Like for example, I know certain groups kind of don't meet July, August, like they take those months
But-
off. So it's like,
But because there's going to be
Yeah.
voting for, I'll say, a preferred option, you're going to
Yeah.
want to get in front of that in
Yeah.
that time frame.
yeah.
And
So-
then,
Oh, sorry, quick question, Ken. So with the PTO groups, would those also be focus groups? Or the PTO?
well, yeah, I mean, in the past they've been, their own group.
The superintendent has a meeting monthly when it works out because life is so busy. It's a superintendent advisory committee, and that committee group is like basically all of the PTOs from, although I mean, I guess it would kind of be tough because it's Northborough and Southborough, so, but it could be potential. We have access. We can get together. We can,
If you come up with a list, I mean, if we see a list
Yeah.
of 10, that would be a great start.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'll get you good. Yeah, I got you. I
And
got
and
you.
then what we want to do is we want to map it out so it matches the submittals that we have to do and get support.
And Kelly, we tend to be, Genoese and I tend to be a little annoying when you give us a date. So you said 2 days. In 2 days, you will be
I
seeing.
know, I was just
They can't help themselves.
I already wrote it
The
down.
day doesn't count.
Check back in 2 days.
Yeah, no, you'll have it. Because for me, when I say I'm going to do something, I do it right away because otherwise I'll forget and it never happens. So I will be starting tonight, and
Thank
then tomorrow I'll be reaching out to people asking them for their ideas, and you'll have it.
Thank you.
I wonder at what point in a project do you start engaging other town boards and committees, kind of thinking about like financial planning here in committee we have in town, the appropriations committee. I'm the liaison from the select board, but is there like do you maybe like say a large focus group where you do a joint meeting of say those three boards or committees and you present material to them to get it in front of them so that they're aware of it, they know what's going on, um, and have some information to go with that they can then disseminate because generally those people that are involved in those committees, right, they have people that they talk to and can spread the word for stuff. So is there
So you definitely want, whether it's, it's a tri-committee or whatever, you definitely want that before the PSR vote, the preferred schematic vote, where you're selecting one option. If you do consolidate, you need school committee to actually support that. So that's a separate meeting. So that's right around the corner. That's happening within, the next couple months.
okay?
The PDP, just so everyone's like where we are right now, it's all about collecting information. That's why there's no MSBA approval when we submit the PDP. It's just, getting your feet wet, understanding like what the project scope is, existing conditions, some magnitude costs. But the next phase, the PSR, the preferred schematic report, you're selecting one option. So we need to get in front
Right.
of those groups prior.
And when is that expected time date to select that option again?
We're hoping to talk to the MSBA to get us a little leeway because they
Yeah.
took what we put out there and bumped it back by a month and a half. So they have that
To
as
what?
June 25th.
Yeah. So I did send the email already today. I know we talked, Greg and Kent, about that earlier today. I already sent the email, haven't heard back. I'm hoping to speak to them by tomorrow to see that we can get that extension. So I will make sure that I have a response back to you guys by Thursday, the latest. I will be a pain to them
Right.
until you give me a
Yeah.
response.
So right now, June 25th, MSBA wants to know the square footage of our plan.
The
Essentially.
actual option and
Option.
enrollment,
Right.
the
The
actual
option,
enrollment
like where
scenario. Yeah.
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 So ideally, mapping it out, yes, you'd have, through the summer to work on that.
Okay. And then kind of thinking ahead a little past that, right? September timeframe rolls around. We have the Apple Fest here in Northborough. So whatever we've got around that September timeframe, we would definitely want like, probably a booth at the street fair, maybe even a table set up at the gala. I know for the athletic complex, they had done that to previously for the athletic complex at
Yep.
the high school had a setup at the Apple Fest gala. So I know it's obviously a little ways away, and we've got some big milestones before that, but just to kind of put it on the radar.
Mhm.
Those are the
So I'm
ones.
sorry I'm late. Was working for another community earlier this evening. So I think one thing that would be helpful is, and I'll speak to the school committee. I think it'd be helpful for the select board as well, is to get a, monthly written report or a presentation package that there can be a standing agenda item at the school committee meeting where we present what's being presented at the select board meeting and what is being presented at the school committee meeting are parallel presentations. And I think that's really important. I think that's something that I think was missing in Southborough, and I think would be helpful moving forward. And
Greg, can
Would-
you elaborate on that? So what would be like the 3 or 5 key touch points on the monthly written report? Is like timeline?
what was accomplished, where to get information, what are, what decisions were made, what decisions are going to be made.
Next checkpoint. Yep.
Yep. The other important piece, and I apologize if you've already talked about this, is right now the Peaslee Building Committee needs good information around what the community's priorities are. So in terms of moving a project forward, what are the, again, I think I've said this before, but what are the top 3 to 5 priorities for the community. Um, and knowing that earlier allows this committee to focus its work and on who to connect with and who to speak with. Um, so whatever those priorities are, I think we need to get a sense from the community. Is it cost and tax impact? Um, is that a major obstacle? Is it the educational design? Is it school consolidation? Is it neighborhood schools? We need to get out in front of that now, because when summer rolls around and the Peaslee Building Committee is making these decisions, and it will be a difficult decision to make, people aren't going to be around to be responding to input and feedback.
So Greg, two things. One is, so we're thinking about posting it on the Facebook and Instagram, that QR code, so that people can just go in there and answer those questions. But also, I guess there's a newsletter that you send out. Would you be able to include it on that QR code so that parents can answer those
Yeah,
questions?
I think that my recommendation is to relook at those questions and have a little bit more, like, educate and get some input and feedback through a townwide survey. I think reaching the school age population is not hard. Like, we have good mechanisms and communication channels to do that. It's it's the senior citizens, it's people who no longer have kids in school. It's again, we don't have access to that demographic through our communication channels.
Can we workshop the poll to make sure that it is educational and gives us the metrics that we need, and then
Mhm.
launch it hard?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Monthly written report. Peaslee Building Committee needs to understand priorities for the committee. I feel like you were on a roll, Greg. And then that was
Yeah, I mean,
leading into your desire to do a fireside chat. Was that where you were your next?
yes, I thought that
Okay.
was a great idea. Um, fireside chat with a high school principal.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Great.
I was the one who coined that phrase. I kind of attributed it to you, Greg. I kind of assigned it to you there.
Yeah, it just came right back at you.
I think, again, I know all of you have experience with forums and fireside chat, and coffee hours. The turnout's low. So to Kelly's point and Mike's point, like, what are those, opportunities where people are coming for another reason, where we can also take 2 minutes? And do we ask the town moderator, can the Peaslee Building Committee have 10 minutes at this upcoming town meeting just to give an update to the community where we are and what decisions will be made and how to stay informed?
Can we, Mike?
We're gonna have like 60 articles, so
I know.
every
Well,
every
we
minute
can go
might
on the
be
5th night, Mike.
Yeah, they'll put us on night 5.
right.
Okay.
Close us out, Peaslee.
Yeah.
Or we can kick it off strong, Mike, and we get the meeting started for a quick.
Or
Right.
or even if we can get the community QR code poll, if we can't get a 10-minute presentation, even if we can put that up, have that maybe being up as people are coming in, something like that, so that we can get those numbers,
And hard
Flyer at
copies.
you're right, Kelly.
At
We
town
should do a
meeting.
flyer at the town, because we're doing the forum, and then we should provide that flyer. See if can we do that, Mike?
They usually have
Yeah.
tables with different things out,
Yeah,
so.
they got all kinds of stuff out. So a flyer for the Peaslee Committee is not a heavy lift. So
Yeah, but I'm
Okay,
thinking like, even like, you know how in the beginning of the town meetings, they'll do like sample poll questions, like, do you know how to click yes? And everyone has to click
yeah,
yes.
I think the only hesitation, maybe we need to, right, I mean, you're going to have so many people there who are also going to be the people deciding and voting on Peaslee when it gets there is we have to do something, right? So we whatever it is, I think I could see some hesitation of hoping not to confuse people that there's something about Peaslee that night or those nights, plural, that they'll have to decide on. So just whatever we do, just we would want to make it clear that it's not related to articles that they're going to be voting on in this town meeting session.
Yeah.
Because I think that was part of the hesitation about maybe having Peaslee, the committee come up and maybe do something at town meeting is people sort of conflating that with some decision they'll have to make or thinking that they'll have to do something. So whatever we do, and it could just be as simple as flyer with a QR code. Hey,
Yep.
please take this poll.
Yep.
Just whatever it is, let's just make sure that it's clear that it's not related to the articles that they're voting on those nights.
Yep. And that's right around the corner. I mean, that's coming up soon.
Yeah.
In 6 weeks.
And then yeah, and just on top of that about getting feedback, like just looking at and I know we're going to put more out on that little section of the website, but something that has like a Peaslee email box maybe that would go to either the chair, vice chair, or
We
the
got
voting
that,
members.
Mike.
Yeah.
The
Oh, okay,
town
we have that.
created an email that goes, yep, good.
Okay. Yeah, I just didn't see it on the page yet. So whenever they
Okay,
can
it
get
needs to
that
go
up.
on the page. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm working on the website to populate that.
Okay, cool.
So one other thing that I've seen other districts do is a video from the actual students. It's cute, like the kids saying why they need a new school. I mean but I don't know if these kiddos are too small but it's cute to just hear them say why they feel like they need a new school. But obviously we would need to get permission from their parents because it would be recorded, but it's something.
I discussed with Northborough Media when we talked about, doing some, on the ground, site visit, movie at Peaslee, and their recommendation was to have the principal sort of present it and get B-roll, to avoid some of those with filming students. So Dr. Coakley's ready to host a quick site visit. Yeah.
No, but I like that idea. If we can, like, some parents don't mind their kids talking and presenting, and so maybe there are some like fifth graders, or maybe there are some.
I think
Right.
right now you just have to state of the facts.
Yeah.
Like here's the building, here's the condition, here's why. I think once you get students involved, it can feel like
Different.
Suggestive.
I think there will be I think there will be an opportunity for that, but I don't think that is under the purview of the
Now.
Peaslee Building Committee.
One
That
of the
would be my opinion.
One of the pieces of content that I heard feedback on, which pertains to you, Greg, is your explanation of the grade configuration, I think was useful. I heard feedback that it was surprising, just from the pedagogy of it was making people think. It was provocative. So I do think if there's a way to condense that educational information, and why would you even consider, and that maybe that goes back to workshopping the poll, but I think that having a discussion about grade reconfiguration in a vacuum without any kind of context is setting people up to fail. I think providing the context of why that is even on the table, it was very helpful. So I don't know if that goes in the poll or if that's a separate social media post with data from you.
Yeah, I think we could add in the poll a little bit like why neighborhood schools, um, why a 3 through 5 school, and have a little explanation and rationale about each.
Madam New Chair, Madam Subcommittee Chair, we have to do a public comment before we adjourn, but unless there's, further, I have 17 like tasks. It's like a little bit heart palpitation. But I do like there's a lot to be done, but I feel like I've got good focused task list.
Yeah. Is there any public comment or audience sharing? That's what we
I don't know if I'm doing this right. My name is John Bourgeois.
Hi.
Welcome, John. Say
Hi.
your name and where you live.
Yeah, John Bourgeois, 52 Washburn Street, right here in town. And um, I did participate in, I guess, this week's meeting that occurred at the school. I thought it was very helpful, very informative. Just a couple of things I just wanted to touch on quickly. And it's really kind of reiterating what I heard earlier. I guess I would say I'd really want, I think that the communication to the town really should talk about how long this conversation has been happening. I think from the meeting I was at this past week, it's been going on for the last 4 or 5 years. So I think that's important to tell the town that, to say that you've really been working on this. I think it's important to also reiterate the state coming in and saying, "Oh my gosh, you really need to have a new school." You know, I think that's really important. And I also wanted to ask, I don't know if there is, are there any consequences to not having the school remodeled, added, torn down, rebuilt? I mean, is the state going to come in and penalize us? If so, we should probably communicate that to the town too. I don't know that there is, but it might be useful to have that conversation. Um, and then certainly, I think it's positive to talk about the school configuration and the few comments that were made this past week. My wife is in the Waltham school system, and she agreed with those points. So I think that's very useful as well. Last, I do want to impress upon the committee, and I think the principal had said this, we need to get a pulse on where the town stands in terms of priorities. I can't say it enough. Cost is going to be a question, and they're gonna raise that as their first point of contention, regardless of the need for a school, how poorly the school is set up for the kids. I think cost is going to be their number one issue. Unfortunately, I know we need the school. I'm going to vote for the upgrades. It's certainly needed. It's way overdue. But I think we need to somehow communicate to the town the importance of having the school upgraded. But also we need to kind of alleviate the fear of the cost, because the cost, we're talking whatever, $50 million for a new school, $60 million. Our tax is going to go up $1,000 a person, give or take, much like it just did with the fire department. So in the next 5 years, our taxes are going to go up several $1,000s between the fire station and the school. That's a huge hit. That's enormous. And again, some of us can afford it. I'm fortunate I can, but not all can. So I think we need to somehow get past that. And that's a tough one. That's really difficult. That's not an easy conversation to have with the town. So those are just a couple of points that I wanted to at least communicate to the committee here, and let you know how I see it.
That's great. Thank you so much, John. John, quick question for you.
Yeah.
Where would you think community forums or focus groups? Can you think of any people?
Yeah, no, I
That would be
think the
good.
ones you discussed tonight, the senior center, certainly. I think that's important. Um, I think obviously touching on, if there's some way to leverage the PTO, school committees, um, the library. A lot of families go to the library. I think the idea of, the stand-up flip chart, just having that 3x5 card up there saying, hey, here's the QR code for the subcommittee, please go here. And I do like the idea of the town hall. Once we all walk in, we're all getting seated. Even if we had something up on the board, the overhead saying, hey, here's the subcommittee for Peaslee. information, go here, here's the website, here's the town website, sign up at the town website to get notifications, here's the QR code, and be done with it. We don't have to necessarily have a long conversation, but at least we're giving people the opportunity to download that information very quickly. I think a pamphlet's good at the town hall at a table, but I know myself personally, I don't grab all those pamphlets. I don't pay a lot of attention, except for the main one that's got all the stuff we're going to vote on. So I think that would be certainly helpful as well. But it's hard to, how do we identify those people who are going to raise the issue of cost, right? If I'm complaining about the extra cost that's going to be borne on me, how can you convince me otherwise? And how can you target me? I think the Legion Hall is a good idea. I don't know how that would work, honestly. I don't know if you could have someone come in and speak for 30 minutes at the Legion Hall. My guess is a lot of those people at the Legion Hall, the American Legion Hall, are going to raise the issue of cost. I know some of those people down there. I've been in town my entire life. My family's been here since, I don't know, 1948. So many of those folks are going to poo-poo the idea of building a new school and spending $50 million and raising your taxes by 1,000. So.
Great. Thank you so much, John. We appreciate you tuning in tonight.
Yeah, no, and thank you for having this this meeting made public. It's very helpful to be able to call in via Zoom.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
All right,
Right.
then co-chairs Erica and I will entertain a motion to adjourn unless anybody has any other business to discuss.
I
So
move to
moved.
adjourn. I'll
Second.
second. Okay,
Okay.
well, yeah.
Yeah. Moved by Mike, second by Erica. Roll call vote. Mike,
Aye.
Erica,
Aye.
myself as an I. I think that's it, right? The three of us?
Yes.
Yeah.